Blog Talk Radio.
Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to another edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk Radio. It is Sunday, February 22nd, 2015 at 11 o'clock. Show ends 11:30. You can call in live for your Detroit sports opinion on anything at 646-478-4837. Or you can text message live with your name and city and state, 231-429-3668. Got to cover all the teams as always. I already talked about David Price's body being refreshed last week. If there's anything Tigers that is available for me to talk about, also we got David Price, a happier David Price, open to a contract talk with the Tigers, and also Brad Ausmus has to find balance bringing along Jose Iglesias as he's getting ready to return to action in 2015, starting with spring training and the exhibition games, and then the regular season. Let's just hope he's careful. First spring training game is at home on March 3rd at 1:05 against the Baltimore Orioles at Joker Marchant Stadium in Lakeland, Florida. But let's get to the Red Wings right away. They have played three tight games. One of them, first one against Montreal, they lost 2-0. They choked in the end after playing evenly in terms of shots on goal. The game went back and forth, but it started with a Jonathan Ericsson turnover, and the Canadians had two scoring chances. The second one successful by Tomas Plekanec on a one-timer that beat Jimmy Howard. I mean, Howard could have stopped that shot, but only some, not all of it, only some is his fault. Jonathan Ericsson is to blame. Pavel Datsyuk, I saw blow a tire when he was ready to block. When he was about to block that Plekanec shot. I would definitely not pin any of it on Datsyuk. It's the turnovers game that the coaches, players, and fans and the general manager are concerned about. And it cost the Red Wings a goal against and the game. The Canadians went on to score the empty netter to make it 2-0. On yet another bad offensive transition sequence in the offensive zone with Howard pulled for the extra attacker. that ended the homestand. So then the Red Wings started a 6-game road trip in Chicago with a sour taste in their mouth, playing the Blackhawks on NBCSN's Wednesday night rivalry. In the first period, there was no score, but the shots were 17-6 in favor of Chicago. And I guess Jimmy Howard had to stand tall. Jimmy Howard was the only Red Wing in that first period to play with more emotion, unlike the rest of his team. The second period was more evenly matched when the Red Wings got back in it in shots on goal, putting 11 on Corey Crawford, one of them shot by Tomas Tatar, and then the Brandon Saad goal, which looked offside. The linesman missed it. They made a mistake. Eddie Olchuk pointed it out correctly too. And then late in the third period, when Tomas Tatar held the puck in, he passed it to a wide open Darren Helm, who had like 2 or 3 cracks at it, beat Crawford by banking one in off Brent Seabrook's skate. With over 2 minutes to go. But then the Blackhawks tied it on a Chris Versteeg goal, which actually deflected off Jonathan Toews' shoulder, and then off Nicholas Kronwall and in. I really don't think Kronwall had anything to do about it. He tried to clear the puck out of the crease. It was just a bad bounce. The real blame is once again on Jonathan Ericsson, because for two things. He's poor defensively. I wanted him to block that shot too, and it was hard, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted Jonathan Ericsson to suffer a season-ending broken jaw, considering how hard that shot was, and considering how badly I wanted Ericsson to block that shot, considering, once again, like I mentioned before, he is terrible defensively. Beyond terrible defensively. In other words, Ericsson still could have taken one for the team, and the Red Wings would have held on in regulation. So the game was tied at 2. Overtime didn't settle it either. So they went into a shootout. Datsuk was stopped by Crawford. Jonathan Toews beat Jimmy Howard. Gustav Nyquist beat Corey Crawford 5-hole with a tricky little deke. Nyquist is a genius in the shootout. And then Patrick Kane did his move, but got ironed. Fortunately for Jimmy Howard and the Wings. And then Tomas Tatar did his Patrick Kane-esque deke and did it right. He deked good enough to score the goal the game-winning shootout goal. See, the shootout is another big reason why I love the game of hockey. I love the shootout. Whether it's skills competition or not, it does determine whether it's individuals or team or not. It does determine. It's a fun and exciting way to determine which team comes up with that third point, with that extra point. And that's about the only way to settle it. If any period over, either overtime or double overtime with 3-on-3, for example, in the upcoming seasons, don't even determine it. A shootout must be summoned to settle things, whether people like it or not. Just because it's skills competition, that's the beauty. That's one beauty of the game of hockey. And it's not just one shooter, just one individual. It's 3 shooters per each team, not one. Look, guys, the NHL is trying to be fair. As I continue on here, Patrick Sharp was stopped by Jimmy Howard because he mishandled the puck, and Howard finally won his first shootout of the season. Howard's first shootout in his return from injury stopped all 3 shots in shootout regulation. Forgot who they lost to. It was 0-0 after 3 rounds in the shootout. Okay. Trying to think here. But Howard only allowed 2 goals in the last 7 shots against him, which is still good statistically. But it looked to me like, considering the fact that Howard was beaten the first 2 shots, one of them going off the post by Kane, first one by Taves going in, and then the third one mishandled by Sharp. Howard made an easy save with his left pad. I thought that shootout win was more like a gimme than an earned shootout win. But considering the fact that he won that shootout at either cost, I would say that Howard is getting there, is still getting there. He just needs to keep working at it. And he finally got goal support in the shootout from Nyquist and Tatar. Let me see here. I'm going to check the schedule, see who they played. I should have done that in the first place. The Winnipeg Jets. Now let me click on the recap. Drew Stafford. Got the game winner that Howard muffed. He stopped Ben Wheeler, Brian Little, and Matthew Perot. By the way, Howard allowed 4 goals against the Jets. Not good. Not good at all in that game. But anyway, the Red Wings coming off a shootout win in Chicago, headed to Dallas and played the Stars. Howard gave up 6 goals and was pulled by Gustafsson, but his defense wasn't there for him either. Both Howard and the defense allowed 6 goals. The Red Wings scored 4 before Jonas Gustafsson replaced Howard. And Justin Applicator tipped one in on the power play to make it 6-5, and then Datsuk scored the tying goal with 1:48 to go, and Justin Applicator pushed Dallas Stars goaltender Kari Lehtinen. And considering that should have been a no-goal, but the Red Wings will take it. Stars head coach Lindy Ruff and goaltender Kari Lehtinen were both furious. I gotta tell you. And then, just 36 seconds in, Nicholas Kronwall, of all people, got the pass from Darren Helm, decided to deke around one Star defender and drive to the net through the slot and backhand one past Kari Lehtinen for the game winner. Who would have thought? Kronwall winning it in a different fashion, like forward type fashion. For the Red Wings. Kronwall usually doesn't get that many game-winning goals, but he did Saturday. He earned it by driving to the net himself. Datsuk got his second assist of the night, finishing with 2 goals and 2 assists. He was the first Star. Jakob Kindl also scored 2 goals. I felt he should have earned one of the 3 stars of the game. That was on a game in which he returned to the lineup after Kyle Quincy got injured in Chicago, and Kindl stepped right up. And in that game, Jonathan Ericsson did nothing wrong, which is an understatement to me. I had a public conversation on Twitter with Raymond Bennett, a special promoter for Detroit Sports 105.1, a huge Red Wings fan, a Red Wings Tigers Griffins season ticket holder, about Jonathan Ericsson. He told me that he has a bad hip and a bad finger, and he told me that he'll be fine. I guess I agree with him, because it has nothing to do with his lack of brain usage. They play the Kings, Sharks, and Ducks later this week, and then they play the Predators to wrap up the week and the 6-game road trip. They better be, I gotta tell you right now, they better be ready. The Ducks, Kings, and Sharks first, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 10, 10:30, and 10:30. Saturday at 3, they play the Predators in Nashville. all on Fox Sports Detroit. The Pistons traded Jonas Jerebko and Gigi Datomi to the Boston Celtics for a returning Tayshaun Prince, who did not play in either of the Chicago of the 2 games from their return from their NBA All-Star break. One against Chicago, 191 in winning fashion, and then 106-89 over the Washington Wizards in a late matinee game earlier today at the Palace. Reggie Jackson made his debut on the court against the Wiz. Jackson has a personality of a lightning bolt, just like Torrey Hunter did with the Tigers in 2013. Before Hunter is now a Minnesota Twin again. By the way, but back to the Pistons. They finished their 5-game homestand with the Cleveland Cavaliers coming to town, and then the New York Knicks, and then they play the Wizards on the road. The Cavaliers game is going to be big, of course. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving. The Pistons are looking for their revenge against the Cavs. The Pistons are gonna have to manhandle the Knicks to show that they are the better team, and the Knicks are the worst team, are one of the worst teams in the NBA. I read from one post that on Detroit Pistons fans, the group on Facebook, from Detroit Boys Sports Center, the Pistons are currently a half game out of the 8th seed. If the Brooklyn Nets lose to the Denver Nuggets tomorrow night, the Pistons will officially move into a tie for the 8th seed with the Nets and the Charlotte Hornets. The Pistons are right there. I can taste it. So can I. So can I, Sports Center. Mr. Sports Center. The Michigan State Spartans clobbered the Michigan Wolverines 80-63. Michigan had lost 4 straight before upsetting the 24th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes in an early matinee game. Today. What was it? 64-57 was the final. Michigan went out to it, led 39-21 at halftime. Ohio State came back, but Michigan was able to hold them off and finish strong. While the Michigan State Spartans held off the Illinois Fighting Illini 60-53 in Champaign, they avoided about the same comeback Illinois completed against Michigan 2 Thursdays ago in Champaign at Assembly Hall. MSU has won 4 straight. they are red hot right now. Neither MSU or Illinois were ranked in that matchup. As I saw the matchup, both MSU was 18-8, and Illinois was 17-9 going into this one. Now both teams are 8. Now MSU is 19-8. Illinois is 17-10. Checking out Michigan State's schedule on MSUSpartans.com. They have off until Thursday at 7 in East Lansing at Breslin Center when they take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. That should be a piece of cake. Spartans just have to prove that it is. Then they play Wisconsin next week, March 1st, at Wisconsin. The Badgers at 4. That is on a Sunday. Yeah, there are 28 days in February, I know. Big game in Wisconsin. I'll be looking forward to that one. For Michigan, they are at Maryland Saturday. They have off until then. Tip off at noon. That's it. It's gonna be on either ESPN or ESPN2. Check your guide for listings. And for CMU, finally, they get 2 more wins. First one against the Northern Illinois Huskies, a very close one, 68-66 at McGurk Arena. They proved their dominance in that building, and they keep doing so against the Ball State Cardinals, 83-60. Assist King Fowler led the Chippewas to their 20th win. I will post the Tigers articles when I am done here. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk Radio. I will talk to you next week, Sunday at 11, right here on Blog Talk Radio, and a bit later this week on Spreaker. TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.